It is it's your time back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be doing a tier list of the power forward position in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Now, do gotta say power forward position, I don't want to say it's bad, but I do think it's one of the weaker positions in my team. Obviously, it did get a little bit of a boost this weekend with the Wemby, with the Mobley, with the Walker Kessler type of cards. We're continuing to see better and better power forwards coming out. But just know, at the time I'm recording this, I'm not super high on the power forward tier. Again, that's my personal opinion. But yeah, let's get into it without further ado. Zeke Nnaji, 6'9", and I'm honestly not going to sit up here and lie to you guys. I have not used Zeke Nnaji at all, but he's 6'9". How good can a guy be at 6'9" at this stage of my team? I don't think good at all. I'm going to throw him at F tier. And look, I'm sorry if you're a big Zeke Nnaji fan, but he's 6'9". And again, he's just not great overall. It's not like he's got the best release in my team. He's okay. He's fine. He is F tier at the end of the day, though. Invincible Jokic up next. I'm going to go B tier with Invincible Jokic. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for putting Jokic in B tier. But let me ask you guys this, right? Would you guys rather have a Jokic or a Taco fall? For me, it's a no-brainer. I'm taking Taco every day of the week. Why? Because height runs my team. And until height doesn't run my team, it's going to be what it is. I'm sorry, the Jokic, the Joker, is in B tier. Alonzo Mourning up next. I'm going to go C tier with Alonzo Mourning. A card that when it came out, I actually didn't mind. I actually liked Alonzo Mourning quite a bit. The problem is that was in Season 6 early on. We're in late Season 7 now. Alonzo Mourning just has become a little bit, I don't want to say outdated, but a little bit outdated. Amar'e Stoudemire up next. Here's the deal. He's undersized. I don't love his release. I don't love his player model player both. Is he C tier? Probably, but I'm just not that high on Amar'e Stoudemire in general, right? I mean, is anybody really using Amar'e Stoudemire, having that much success with him? Probably not. Anthony Davis up next. I guess B tier for Anthony Davis. He's undersized. Is he better than Alonzo Mourning, Amar'e Stoudemire? I think so. Just because, again, he is the Invincible. Get to have those 55 Hall of Famers. Would I recommend running Invincible Anthony Davis? Absolutely not. As I do personally believe right now at the time I'm recording this, he's one of the most overpriced cards in the entire game. For what he is, right? 6'10", just undersized. Artis Gilmore up next. I'm going A tier for big Artis Gilmore. Height runs my team. Artis is 7'2". I personally don't mind his release. I know a lot of people might not love his release. I personally am one. I don't mind his release. I think it's easy enough to time, easy enough to green. And with those two things, and, he is free. All you got to do is play my team unlimited. What's there not to like about Artis Gilmore, right? I mean, I think the pros of Artis definitely outweigh the cons. Artis Gilmore, a card I really do like. Bill Walton right in here with this Amar'e Stoudemire both. I mean, honestly, I think I got to put both of them down because I do like Alonzo Mourning more than them. And I know it might get a lot of backlash, but at least with Alonzo Mourning, I feel like his SIGs are better than both Amar'e's as well as Bill Walton. We'll see, but right now, that is where I've got him. Bobo at the power forward. Is he S tier or A tier? I think it's definitely a question that should be asked. I like Bobo, but my whole problem is he that much better than Artis Gilmore at the 4? I think a little bit better, but I don't think he's that much better. I'm going to go A tier right now. We might only have a couple guys at S tier at the end of this thing, and I am perfectly okay with that. Brad Daugherty up next. I think it's easy for Brad. I think he's better than Amar'e. I think he's better than Bill Walton. I do think he fits that C tier mold. Some people might want to have him higher, and honestly, if you want to have him higher, I can see why, because he's tall, he's got a decent release, decent player model, decent build. So if you like him over Anthony Davis, I definitely can see it. My whole thing is AD is just the overall better stat badge-wise card, and so that definitely plays a factor as well. Chet up next. Look, Chet, Bobo, both of them, I would encourage you guys to run at your specific small forward instead of power forward. That's kind of my opinion on things, especially with height running my team. Chet is Chicken Man. Chicken Man Chet in my team is a real thing. And if you've used Chet, you know what I'm talking about. The card has such a smooth and easy to time, easy to green release in my team. Only 7 feet tall, definitely not, Wemby's type level, but is really solid. And if you locked in the set, he can definitely still play. Chris Bosh at this stage is F tier. And I know people aren't going to like that because Chris Bosh isn't actually that bad. But, I mean, he's undersized. His release is only on quick. I mean, what are we really doing with Chris Bosh at this point in my team? If you're running Chris Bosh, you're doing something wrong because he's D tier. He's D tier, but he's still not good in my team. And give me Danny Ferry over him. I'm going to put Danny... No, you know what I'm going to do? I think I got to put Danny Ferry's D tier. At this stage in my team, at the power 4 position, I feel like he's got to be D tier. I know there's people that are going to argue that, but he's 6'11". I'm going to throw him at C tier. Right in there with Alonzo Mourning. I don't love Danny Ferry, though. He lacks some badges, lacks some stats. And at this stage, I think C tier is all the higher you can be on the card. Danny Manning, way better at the small 4 position. The power 4 position, I guess I'll go C tier. Definitely do like him over like a Chris Bosh type of card. But my whole thing is small forward, small forward, small forward. That's where you got to think about Danny Manning. I'm kind of getting behind on spotlights, so that's kind of on my one monitor. I've got the AFK grinding the domination type game while I am giving you guys this tier list. Dave Cowens, again, small forward is his best position. The power 4 position, probably C tier. I'm not that high on Dave Cowens, though. I'm really, really not. I think there are way better options. You know what? I'm putting Dave Cowens in D tier. I don't see it with Dave. It's hard, though, because Danny Manning, Danny Ferry, Dave Cowens, they're all that same type of tier. David Robinson up next. It might surprise you guys. I'm going B tier with D-Rob. Borderline A tier. Now, I'm higher on D-Rob than more than probably anybody else that you guys will see make a tier list. Now, why do I personally like D-Rob? He's 7'1", good height. Release is only on quick, but it's smooth enough to green. And he just provides really solid defense for you guys. Not perfect by any means, but trust me when I tell you, D-Rob can play at any level in my team, and you can have a lot of success with the card in general. Boogie Cousins up next. He stinks. He's going D tier. I have never seen it with DeMarcus Cousins, like where I've used the card and I'm like, wow, this card is absolutely it in my team. I honestly struggle with DeMarcus Cousins, to be completely honest with you. I've not been good with the card. Is that me saying DeMarcus Cousins is bad? No. Is that me saying that you can't use him? No. But he is undersized, so keep that in the back of your mind. Dikembe Mutombo, I feel like if D-Rob's B tier, Dikembe's got to be B tier. People still use Dikembe Mutombo to this day. And I don't have an issue with it because even Dikembe compared to Artis, side by side, I think it is really close. I personally definitely prefer Artis. I think he's the overall better player. Just, you know, from stat, badge-wise, animations, I just think he gives you a little bit more. But I'm going to be honest, guys. Dikembe Mutombo can play at a really high level still to this day. I'm excited for the time we get an Invincible Dikembe because he should be absolutely outstanding. Domantas Sabonis up next. The reason I'm putting him in C tier is because he's 7'1", okay? He's extremely tall in my team. And just for that alone, I think he deserves C tier. The card's not perfect. He's not the best power forward in my team. Don't necessarily love him in center either, but he is tall. Decent frame, green shots. I'll go C tier. D12 at this stage, I think I got to go D tier. But my whole thing is just hard, right? D12 compared to Alonso, compared to Danny Manning. It's just hard. I just think D12 is not great in my team. I'm putting him in D tier. That's my opinion on it. His release is not great. Evan Mobley, A tier, and might be my favorite guy at A tier right now for the power 4 position. His release, just as good as Chet's. In my opinion, way better than Artis Bobo. He's an Invincible. His player motto is pretty solid. What's there not to like about Evan Mobley? That's my bigger question, right? Forget, you know, what you do like. Tell me what you don't like about Mr. Evan Mobley in my team. And then we can have the conversation because Evan Mobley is nearly a perfect card in my team. His release is really quick. It might be too quick for some of you guys out there. But other than that, Evan Mobley is a superstar in my team. George Mikan, I'm going to go C tier. I do think the Mikan man is better than a guy like Bill Walton, better than Amari. Card perfect, no, but for a rush card, one of the best probably rush cards we personally have seen. Hakeem Olajuwon, I'm going to go... It's hard. It's hard. I think B tier is the right spot for Hakeem, although I don't really love it. I don't love his release. I don't love a lot that he has, but he is 7 feet tall. He's going to get you stops, going to play decent defense. His release isn't bad, easy to time, easy to green, and he's a free level 40 card. I'll go B tier. I just don't love him. Horace Grant up next, B tier. Horace Grant, in my opinion, is a better version of like what Alonzo Mourning was. So think of Alonzo Mourning, Horace Grant. They're basically the same. Horace Grant is just a newer version of him, which makes him a little bit better. Wish he was a little bit taller. I wish he could play the small forward position. But at the end of the day, he is still really solid in my team. And if you do get him in RN as an RNG online reward, he can definitely play. Sigma up next. I really rate Jack Sigma highly. And I know I might be, you know, gassing him, but let's be honest. What does Jack Sigma do bad on the court? Not much. His release is super quick. I think that's probably one of the best things he has going for him is that really quick release. And everything else about Sigma can take care of itself, right? I mean, he's 6'11", gonna get you enough stops. I think B tier is the right spot for him. JJJ up next. I mean, I'm gonna go C tier, and you can argue B tier, but I don't think his release is good enough to argue B tier. In a game in which is ran by height, I think the next most important thing is how fast of a release does a specific card have. And to me personally, I think Jaren's is just a little too slow for my liking. Again, that's not me saying you can't run Jaren. That's not me saying Jaren is bad. I'm just saying I think there are better overall options than Jaren in my team. I really like this Joakim Noah and rate him for a budget card, but D tier is as high as I can go. And again, that's not me saying you can't run Joakim. I just think that's where he belongs on this list. Joakim, really solid base, really solid release, can get the job done. Embiid, D tier. I hate Joel Embiid in my team. And I know a lot of people that actually like him and rate him decently highly. That's not me. I cannot stand Joel Embiid in my team. Beta release. His player build is fine, I guess. Give me Domantas Sabonis over Joel Embiid, though. I'm sorry that's the way it is. I do not see it with Mr. Embiid in my team. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up next. Absolutely outstanding. A tier. A tier, A tier, A tier. I think between A tier, you can argue any of those guys is the best. How I'd organize them or rank them right now would probably be like this at the power forward position. If I had to do it, maybe Kareem over Mobley just because of his player model, player build. But that's probably where I'd have it. I just think, I think Kareem's outstanding, and I really think a lot of it has to do with his player model, player build, and how he's going to play defense. Because his release still is not anything too crazy. Kevin Willis, grinding for him at this current moment. He's tall, right? I mean, that's the one thing about Kevin Willis. Like, when you look up Kevin Willis, he's tall. He's going to do some things for you because he's 7 feet tall. Decent enough release. I need to see it with Kevin Willis. About to get him again. We'll try him out on the No Money Spent probably really soon. But as of now, I'm going to go C tier. Kristaps Porzingis, 16-bit. Is he B tier? I think he's A tier. And you're gonna call me crazy. Invincible KP, I think is A. I think I gotta go like this because there is a tier that separates them, but they're pretty close, right? I don't think there's that much to differentiate the two outside of, you know, one's obviously the Invincible, going to be better stat badge wise, the other one's not. They're both 7-3, both have the same exact release. Both cards are really good. I think this is where I'm going to have them. Just know the 16-bit KP, if you want to argue A tier, I'm not going to argue against that. The card is really solid in my team. Encore LaMarcus Aldridge, I would be lying to say I've ever used that card. I'm going to go D tier, but again, I actually have no idea for LaMarcus Aldridge. Because who loads up the game and is like, yeah, let's have fun using LaMarcus Aldridge? Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to say that. I've never used the card in my team, and I don't plan on it either. Manute Bol, our first S tier card. Is he still the best card in my team? No. But he is S tier. I mean, and it's kind of crazy that he's not the best card we have in the game, because he, for probably 2 months, literally ran the game. He was a must-have. If you wanted to, let's say, win in comp type settings, you needed Manute. He is that good, that overpowered in my team. So it's crazy that I'm up here in front of you guys saying, you know what, he's just not the best card anymore. But that's just kind of the way it has happened in the last, week. It's just, Manute still is obviously it. Just no longer that best card in my team. Marc Gasol up next. Call me crazy. I'm going to put him at B tier. And when I had the hesitations, I'm like, is he really better than Alonzo Mourning? And then I remembered, Marc Gasol is 7-1. His player build is absolutely outstanding. So even if you don't like the fact that he's a Galaxy Opal, let's say for whatever reason you don't love Marc Gasol as an overall player, he's still 7-1. He's still going to be able to compete defensively. So even at his worst, I do think he is in B tier. Mo Bamba up next. Obviously, the hero Mo Bamba is better. Elemental Bamba, I'm going to throw D tier. Hero Bamba probably would be C tier, okay? So just kind of know that as I'm going through this. That's why it's important that you guys watch these tier lists, because, again, sometimes I'll only include one of a player. I like Mo Bamba, though. I don't think the card is bad. He's just not necessarily the best overall card in my team. But again, he can hold it down for his specific position. Moses Malone up next. C tier, I guess. I feel like when Moses Malone came out, people really were high on him. People really gassed him. And did Moses Malone really ever do it for me? Did he ever really impress me? I mean, he was okay, and he's still okay. He's just not worth the ultimate collector level grind. Vucevic up next, D tier. I'm sorry for Vuce, man. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I gotta move Hakeem down. But I don't feel, I guess Vuce is C tier. I feel like Hakeem is better than Vuce, but I don't think it's by that much. So I guess I think one tier separates them. Whether you think Hakeem is B tier or C tier, Vuce is a tier lower. Is the easiest, simplest way I can put it. Both the cards very similar animation wise, but yeah, that's where it happened. Patrick Ewing, man. Oh my gosh. This bona fide scrub in Patrick Ewing. When he got a Dark Matter, let's just talk about things. When he got a Dark Matter in the generational set on May 12th, I was like, yeah, they're going to give him a better release. 2K decided to give him the Patrick Ewing base. Now listen, all they had to do was give him like the Jalen Noel base, something to be a little bit better. They gave him the Patrick Ewing base. I'm sorry, Patrick Ewing is F tier. He might be worse than Zeke Naji. Pau Gasol up next. He's not bad. He's C tier. I don't love Pau Gasol, but if you run the Pau Gasol Marc Gasol duo, it makes both of them a little bit better. I think C tier is the right spot for him, where you can use him and have some success with him. He's just not going to be eye-catching good in my team, and not a card you probably want to use for that long. Big Shaq, Invincible Shaq up next, and here's the tough part, okay? Because I do think at the power forward position, Shaq, Invincible KP, Invincible Kareem, all these cards are on like the same type of level. And some people are going to argue S tier for each and every one of those cards. To me, they're closer to each other than they are to Manute Bol. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm plugging Shaq into A tier. Although I like Shaq's player model player build. I like his release. I like a lot of things Shaq does on the court for us. I just don't think I can put him any higher. Taco Fall A tier still to this day. And it's crazy that a Pink Diamond Taco that came out, I gotta look when Taco came out. He came out on March 17th, over 3 months ago. It's crazy that he's still A tier. I play him on my No Money Spent, and trust me, every time I use Taco, I'm like, man, this card's absolutely elite. If you don't have Manute Bol, the guy I'd recommend you getting is Taco, because again, he can compete with everybody on the court. Thurl Bailey up next at the power forward position. Call me crazy, B tier. I'm higher on Thurl Bailey than nearly anybody else. So keep that in the back of your minds when you're watching this video. Like, okay, Ty is just gassing Thurl Bailey. But let me ask you this. Who's better, Thurl Bailey or Anthony Davis? I know one's an Invincible and one's not. But I don't know who the overall better card is between them. Thurl's got a quicker release. Thurl's an inch taller. AD's obviously Invincible. I'm just saying, I feel like people just gas Invincibles because they are Invincibles. Tim Duncan is D tier. I mean, what are we really talking about with Tim Duncan? I will say 2K's given a lot of people the Tim Duncan upper. I don't really even know how I feel about that. I think D tier is as high as I can go with Tim Duncan, though. Wemby Invincible, S tier, the best power forward in my team over Manute. Wemby, next card, S tier, still S tier, S tier, S tier. And you guys might argue with me. Oh, Ty, the next Wemby doesn't deserve S tier. I think he does. That's my opinion. I think he's better than Taco. I think he's better than Shaq. I think he's better than all those guys. His player build's incredible. He's that good. Now, ultimately, it's these two, big step down, and then Wemby. But I do think he deserves S tier. He's probably closer to this tier though, so maybe I'll put him, I'm probably going to put him at A tier, just because I do think he is closer to this tier than S tier. But again, I do think he's our third best power forward in my team. Vlade up next, D tier. I did use him on a No Money Spent for quite some time because I got him for free. Overall, I do not love the card in my team. Walker Kessler, probably my least favorite card at A tier, to be honest with you. I don't think the card is bad, but again, probably my least favorite card. A card you can use, have some success with, but again, am I like, is he draw dropping good, anything like that? No, he's very mediocre in my team, but is a card you can use and have a lot of success with. Overall, guys, power forward position, pretty weak, okay? That's why I would suggest, Artis Gilmore, Taco Fall, even the next Wemby for budget ballers, because if you get those, like any of those three, you're going to be able to have a lot of success for a very long time in my team. Anybody C tier or lower probably wouldn't, or D tier or lower definitely don't run. C tier, B tier are cards you can run and just, have some success with, but aren't necessarily those best in my team. That's going to wrap it up for our video today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. As always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.